As you see, we have two pictures right here about the packaging of fresh fruit and meat in the supermarket, and seem they can show clearly about the freshness of the product. But don't judge a book by its cover. I will tell you about the way how I get trouble from this packaging. So one day, my mom tell me go to the supermarket to buy for her some fruits, and after a long time to consider, I choose the one that I think is the freshest. But after that, I go home, my mom opened it, and the fish start to smell. It's very smell, and it had the green color in its bottom side. So that day, my family had to eat the dinner with the instant noodle instead of the rice and fish. So from that, I wonder, can this name indicate the freshness of product? Is there any packaging can satisfy this problem? So I have found it. So today I will present to you about the most claim of trade food system as a potential indicator of the fish freshness. So let's begin. So this contains four parts. The first is the limitation of traditional flame. The second is the flame preparation and property. The third is colonialized, and the last but not least are strength and weakness of smart flame. So let's start with the first part. So as we already know, the fish often put on the tray and covered by the lime. So the lime are often made by polyethylene and polypropylene, right? And they are the most cheapest and the most readily available packaging material, but they have some limitation, such as not completely clear, so can make a difficulty in displaying type packaging, and it's also difficult to visualize whether or not the product is suitable for consumption, and some of them do not have recyclability. So that's the reason why we need smart clean packaging. So we will continue to the second part, the limb preparation and property. Before to go that, let's make clear what is smart clean packaging. So the Muslim packaging is the system containing indicator as based on direct visual trend, mainly alteration in the color, and based on the characteristic of the color change in relation to acidic or basic media. It can monitor the food freshness when relating to the pH value. So in this study, we will use anthocyanin, the natural pigment, as an indicator. So we have a picture right here about the mostly packaging. So we see we have the shrimp, and we already know when the shrimp start to spoil, it will change the pH value from neutral to the alkali. So with the pH change will lead to the color of the green will change in the different time interval. We see in different time we have the different color right here. So that is the most clean packaging. So what is anthocyanin? Why we use it as indicator? So the anthocyanin are type of flammable, and we can find it naturally in a number of food such as the eggplant, blueberry, and so on. And due to their color instability of anthocyanin, make them especially useful to monitor the food quality, and that's why we can use it as indicator. So how the anthocyanin work? So we have a picture. So let's take a look. So this is a film contain anthocyanin, and at the beginning, this film is an acidic form, and the fruit still fresh, so the film still retain its color. But when the fruit starts to spoil, this will release the volatile amide such as ammonia, dimethylamide, trimethylamide. So these substances have the pH above 7, so when they react with the anthocyanin, it can make the limb change its color. So due to this property, we can know that our food is available for consumption or not. So that is the how anthocyanin works. So what is the composition of this limb? So the main reason of this limb contains the trap forces for starch extraction. So we already know the jackfruit is easily grown in the hot climates, especially in Vietnam. And furthermore, the jackfruit seed stock has higher generation temperature and higher generation enthalpy and lower breakdown viscosity when we compare to the most tested. And that's why it makes the jackfruit seed is suitable for this slim. And the second ingredient is the skin of black grape for anthocyanin extraction. So how we reduce this flame? So at the beginning, the skin of black grape will rule the filtration to prepare anthocyanin, and the jackfruit seed rule the rust, milk, and brine will have the starch extracted, and they are mixed to form the film forming solution, and through the scattering we will have the smart film. So in the processing we try many film formulation to find out the best formulation for our film. After that we obtain the film like this. They have the purple color of anthocyanin and they show in the plastic slide aspect. So how about the film property? So we start with the thickness. We see that the thickness is directly proportional to the starch concentration. When the starch concentration increases, the thickness of the film also increases. So how about the solubility? So solubility of this film in the water is strongly depend on the hydroxyl group of anthocyanin because they can favor the reaction with the water molecule through the hydrogen bond. So the higher amount of anthocyanin, the greater the solubility of this film in water. So the next with the water vapor permeability. So it's also directly related to the starch concentration. So how about the tensile strength? A claim generally has the low tensile strength. When we see on the starch and anthocyanin ratio, we observe that lower tensile strength, lower starch concentration. And the last with elongation effect, we see the standard variation right here is very high. So it shows that the anthocyanin just had a little effect on this elongation of this film. So after several steps, we choose the ST4AM5 for this application. It means we have 4 grams of starch and 5 milliliters of anthocyanin, and because it gives the resin better visual appearance, greater thickness, and the greater mechanical resistance. So that is the second part. Let's move to the third part with the kernel analysis of mushroom. So the mushroom will be stated into condition. The first condition is the air condition at room temperature 30 Celsius degree for 3 days, and with FF is labeled for freeze flame, FC for control flame. So the freeze we use right here is the tabular freeze. So we will put freeze on the picker and cover by flame. So let's see on the picture. We see that on the first 7 hours, we see no change in the color, but after 24 hours, the green color appears due to the spoilage of the fish. And after 40 hours, the green turns to the yellow color, and after that, 3 days, dark yellow color. So how about the flame in the second condition? So in the second condition, at refrigerated temperature 10 Celsius degree and during 10 days. So we see in first 24 hours, no change in color, but from 48 to 72 hours, the slight color change without much variation. But after 6 days, the color change more clearly, so it comes the blush color in the limb. So after 10 days, it has the green color in the limb. So the yellow color after 3 days in condition A and the green color in condition B after 10 days may occur by the formation of the so-called one of anthocyanin structural form. So that is the analysis of the mushroom. So how its strength and weakness. So with the trend, they can detect information the customer about the quality of the food inside the package, and it also increase the attractiveness of the packaged product to retailer and the consumer. and it can warn about possible problems that compromise the sanitary quality of the product, and it has low or no toxicity and are easy to repair besides being renewable and pollution free. So how about with the witness? The Muslim packaging just present only 5% of the total market value, just very small amount, and the stability of coloration can be easily affected by adverse storage conditions such as temperature, which other more factors that have a red variation during transportation. But we can improve this problem by we combine the film with the nano size material, so it can improve the characteristic of the film, and we can use it as the raw material to protect the pigment from adverse conditions. And beside the pH, the water activity, nutrient level available in oxygen also include the visual response packaging, so it can lead to the no accurate information on the actual situation of the product. So that's in a weakness. So this reference, you can click it to have further more information about the Muslim. So this brings us to the end of my presentation. So thank you for attention.